Welcome back to The Final Word on CNN Philippines. I'm Rico Hizon. Confined to their homes for months because of the COVID-19 pandemic, many consumers and entrepreneurs have shifted to the digital marketplace. What does this so-called digital wave mean for businesses moving forward? Let's get the views now of Facebook Philippines Country Director John Rubio. John, thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word. Over the past 9 months, we've seen this digital transformation with many businesses shifting their business online and consumers adopting a home-centric lifestyle.
Yeah, no, definitely. And thanks, Rico, for having us. I mean, as we look at the platform, it's amazing because, the Filipinos have had a love affair with social media. Depending on which study you look at, Filipinos probably spend the most time online globally. And after the pandemic, that increased significantly. And from that, what happened is businesses started leveraging that because they didn't have access to their physical outlets. They started moving their products and services online. So we did a study with Bain, actually, and it was interesting because we did this last year, and they had predicted that Southeast Asia will reach 310 million digital consumers by 2025. We're going to hit that number by the end of 2020. And Filipinos have massively moved to online purchasing. When you look at that same study, about 40% of Filipinos have switched to purchase mostly online in the past year. And a lot of these people are what we call the discovery generation. So 66% of them don't know what they want or where to get it when they start shopping online. So a lot of people have embraced, because they're using it more, to connect with their family, to watch videos, for example, to watch your show live, for example.
That's right.
They also then have moved commerce significantly online as well.
Over the past 9 months as well, John, we've seen many of the small, the micro and the small business enterprises lose a lot of money. Many of them are struggling. But now that they've shifted to the digital marketplace, we're now seeing them starting to rise amid the ashes because now they can sell their goods and services on, for example, your Facebook Marketplace.
That's right, Rico. I mean, it's been a challenging year for everybody, and we recognize that. And I think part of our mission has been to provide a platform for people to have access to what we call alternatives. So actually, when you look at it, the thing I'm most proud of, I think, from this year is when we do our outreach and training and, training small businesses how to use the platform, our business owners talking about how Facebook has helped, save their business. They may be growing faster than they were before. And I think it goes back to a simple point that the tools and resources that we have for the largest companies, so think of the largest companies in the Philippines, are available to a single proprietor who's running a business off of their bedroom. We have 200 million businesses globally. 95% of those use our free tools. 10 million are advertisers, but 95% of them use, for example, access to, let's say, a Facebook or Instagram shop to show their goods and services, to show their catalog, to connect with customers, for example, over Messenger to complete a transaction. And I think this is the power of how our platform can help small businesses during, again, these challenging times.
But John, you know what? As we are caught up in this digital transformation, we also have to be aware that there are fake goods, that there's fake news, and fake accounts circulating on your social media platform. How are you dealing with these major issues?
That's a good point, Rico. And I think the first thing is people should be careful. And whatever, things you do in an offline world, let's say you're going to Divisoria and, buying something, the same practices that you do offline, you should do online as well. But in addition to that, what we're doing is we're taking what's happening organically in the marketplace and innovating on top of that. So what I mean by that is, for example, creating products and services around marketplace, or what we're launching in Facebook shops, to make sure that customers have a better experience,
right,
more convenient, more safe, more secure, making sure that people have, for example, access to reviews, so that they can see that, is this a trustable seller, having access to, for example, past histories, so that people can have an avenue to make sure that the purchases that they're doing are secure, proper and, again,
But John,
convenient for consumers.
but John, is Facebook also working round the clock to detect this misinformation?
So from a perspective, we invest heavily on I'll call it tools, resources, and people. We have more than 30,000 people invested in making sure that our platforms are safe. We have actually very strict guidelines around usage, and it's this I'll call it large group of people who make sure that the platform is safe. In addition to those resources that we deploy, we also invest heavily actually in I'll call it AI. So automation, where,
Right.
for example, 95, 99 plus percent of the time, it takes something like, for example, terrorist activities. Those will get flagged even before anyone sees it. So we have people, we have tools that we deploy, and lastly, we also provide, every user, and we try to educate everyone to also do their part to report. When, for example, they have a bad transaction, please report it. If they think that there is something that is doing something against our community standards, we've made it very easy from a tools perspective to, for example, flag those. So people, tools, and resources and education is how we're tackling it. To your point, it's a 24/7 job to make sure that the platform is safe and a good place for everyone to be in.
A safe community online is indeed very important. John Rubio, Facebook Country Director, thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word. So, John, what challenges does Facebook face as we head into 2021, as many of our kababayans continue to make this shift to digital?
I think, Rico, from a challenge perspective, I think we're all excited for the world to open up. And what I mean is we can't wait for physical retail to be open so that we can go out, for example, into a mall and shop. Hopefully a vaccine takes care of that. And I think in this new world, what becomes really important is, from a challenge perspective, whether you're a small business or a large business, is, I'll call it, the genie is out of the bottle. And you need to think of the world from an omni-channel perspective now, because people have gotten a taste of, I'll call it, the convenience of buying online, right? They've gotten, adjusted to the amount of SKUs that they can get. So imagine before, maybe you had 5 products. Now you buy something online, there's a choice of 30, 50, 100. So I think the challenge for many companies now, and what we're going to try to help them with, is how do you navigate this online world where people spend a vast majority of time, and then making sure that you have a very smooth channel to complete your sales or transaction, either online or offline. And for us, it's how do we build the tools and resources quickly enough to make sure that we can help everybody coming into 2021.
John, many Filipinos, many of our kababayans have Facebook accounts. What new tools and services will Facebook be offering to its users in the new year?
What people will see more and more is a smoother shopping experience. So, for example, we launched Facebook Shops. We will be launching Facebook Shops, which is a very easy way for people on either Facebook or Instagram, as a small business, for example, to be able to post their products, to be able to connect that, for example, to messaging so that people can quickly order, for example, in one place. We're also putting in partnerships, and I think it's very important to say that we can't do it all alone. So take, for example, a business that wants to manage their inventory really well. You probably want to have Shopify. We were talking earlier to say, to make it really smooth, you probably want to have a good payment experience so that you don't have to wait for cash, and you can have something delivered, maybe pay online using GCash or Paymaya. So I think it's very important that, as we go into 2021, we have Facebook Shops. We're going to start stitching that together. I think the other important thing that we're doing is less from a product perspective, but also from an initiative perspective, is how do we educate all our small businesses, all the people, all the entrepreneurs out there who want to be able to use the platform. So we've done things like, for example, created self-service online so that you can go to our business hub, quickly set up a page. we built this thing called from a business manager perspective, can you quickly load your products? Can you quickly set all of those up? So that's what we're putting together, is a partner ecosystem so that people can transact easily, and tools around Facebook Shops, Facebook Marketplace, so that people can sell in a much easier fashion.
You know, John, there are billions of Facebook users around the world. But how important is the Philippines to Facebook?
Philippines is very important because for Facebook, what's most important is the community. And from a community perspective, we have one of the largest amount of users who use it for a significant amount of time. And very importantly for us, Filipinos also globally are one of the largest creators of groups. And groups are, for example, communities like, I like gardening, so I'm part of a gardening community. You might like, biking, fitness, or stocks or something. There's a Facebook group for that. And Filipinos are globally in the top 5 of setting up groups. So by any measure, Rico, Philippines is very, very important in Facebook globally.
Thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word, Facebook Philippines Country Director John Rubio.